Hello everybody, here we are today doing a first round series review between the New York Rangers and the Washington Capitals. So before we start with it, please make sure to subscribe if you're new to me or hockey, whatever the case may be. That being said, let's get on into it. So game one, of course, Washington travels to New York, and in the first period you would see 11 combined shots. However, nobody would score a goal in the first 20 minutes of action. And then early in the second, surprisingly, it would be Matt Rempe who would score the opening goal of the series, followed by Artemi Panarin 33 seconds later as the Rangers are up 2-0. And then Jimmy Vesey would score yet another goal for the Rangers here in the second period as they would take a commanding 3-0 lead in this game. Martin Ferravari ends up scoring a goal for the Capitals as well in the second period as you see 4 combined goals. Problem is for Washington, they're down 3-1 after 40 minutes of play. And then in the third, you would see the Rangers have a 9-goal shot advantage in that final frame, with Chris Kreider scoring a goal for the Rangers to be able to claim a 4-1 win, an opening series victory, as you don't have to worry about any drama from the Game 1 loss potentially. Neither side would score on the man advantage in this game. Alex Ovechkin didn't even have a shot on goal in this one. Either way, for the Rangers, probably happy just to get the win and know that they are in a good spot for Game 2. Then in Game 2, of course, this being at MSG, again, we would see a first period goal for the first time in the series as a former first-round pick, Connor McMichael, scores an unassisted goal for the Washington Capitals as they take their first lead of the series. Problem is, not too long after that, Vincent Trocheck is able to tie up the game and it's 1-1. Mika Zibanejad would score as well in the first period, and it's 2-1 after 20. Dylan Strome would be able to score a goal in the second period to make it 2-2. However, Jack Roslovic would score a power play goal for the Rangers in the second period as they would regain the lead and be able to see K'Andre Miller score a shorthanded goal to make it an insult and injury moment as the Capitals are in a deficit yet again after 20 minutes of play and trying to get something going to avoid a 2-0 series hole. Then in the third period, you would see the Capitals try to get back into the thick of it, and you would see a Tom Wilson goal to make it a 4-3 game. They are trailing by 1. However, that would be all she wrote for this one as the Rangers would go on to win this one 4-3. The Capitals were able to score twice on the man advantage. Problem is, so was New York, and they got that shorthanded goal by Miller. Special teams play, something you want to be able to be effective in all aspects for a series, especially as an underdog. Washington has one part of it go right for them in a certain way, other parts not, as they are down 2-0 and looking to get back into the thick of it in Washington. Game 3 shuffles over to Washington as you would like to see an early start from the Capitals, and you get that with John Carlson getting an early goal like we saw in Game 2 with Connor McMichael. Problem is, just like in Game 2, the Rangers were able to respond quickly with a Chris Kreider goal to make it 1-1, and then Barclay Goodrow is able to score the second shorthanded goal of the series for the Rangers, and this is after 20 minutes of play. It is 2-1 New York, and not, again, the ideal start for Washington. Despite there being 14 total shots, it was Vincent Trocheck in the second period that would score the lone goal of that period as it's a power play goal to give the Rangers a 3-1 lead. Shuffling over to the third period, the Capitals would have 14 shots in the final 20 minutes of action. However, they would fail to score as the Rangers win 3-1 in this game and take a 3-0 series lead. Notable here, again, Washington fails to score on the man advantage. 0-for-6, 12 minutes, 1 shot. Igor Shesterkin ends up having a 30-save shutout on the night as the Rangers look like they're going to finish the job off in Game 4. Then, of course, in Game 4, Washington is trying to avoid being swept and losing on home ice, but unfortunately for them, Kaapo Kakko, a former second overall pick for New York, would score a goal about a minute into the game. Ferravari would score a goal for Washington to make it 1-1, but of course, as we've seen in this series, wouldn't be long as Trocheck would score his third goal of the series, and it was a power play goal to make it 2-1 after 20. Then in the second, Hendrix Lapierre would score a goal for the Capitals and make it 2-2 entering the final 20 minutes of play. Unfortunately for the Capitals, early in the third, you would see Artemi Panarin score a power play goal, and then towards the end of the game, Jack Roslovic would score an empty netter as the Rangers would go on to win this game and, of course, win the series. Looking back at this series, there were a lot of things to talk about here. I think the special teams battle was especially important as the Rangers were able to take advantage of moments on the power play. You were able to see multiple guys score for them on the man advantage and take care of business there. As for the Capitals, they weren't able to take advantage of that the way they were probably hoping to at one point in the series, and you had some games where if they were able to score, they allowed a shorthanded goal. They had 2 games where they allowed shorthanded goals in the series. That is not going to be something that works out here. You need to play clean when you're playing a team that won the President's Trophy. Washington wasn't always able to do that, and I think a big problem with this as well was the fact that the Rangers had a lot of their stars stars show up. Of course, you had Zibanejad that had 6 primary assists in this series. You had other individuals as well that were able to get a lot of offense going for this team. Meanwhile, the Capitals were hoping for some players to try to be able to, carry the load. And you look at a guy like Alex Ovechkin, he didn't have a single goal or a single assist, so 0 points in the series. That is the first time in a playoff series that he has been off the stat sheet for any type of points or anything like that. Not a great series if you're looking at some things like that. And for a Washington team that was not really expected to do a whole lot, it's still kind of disheartening to see. So finally, the season is done for the Washington Capitals, and I know that this is a tough way to close out the year. However, you have to look at this team with a new head coach that had some guys that started off the year slow and some younger players that are trying to get their opportunities. You have to feel like this was a better season than many expected. You see a coach that previously was able to work with a lot of these younger players and are hoping, or will be hoping, that he can help some of these younger guys develop and blossom into potentially good players for this team. Still, though, losing in 4 games is not fun. Washington is going to be watching the rest of the playoffs from their couches. As for the Rangers, they're able to go out there and win the President's Trophy and prove that they aren't a fluke and sweep the Capitals, the only team in the first round to get a sweep. Maybe they didn't go out there and get the margins of victory that you're hoping for in some of these games, but the way I look at it is they had multiple players that were able to step up in this series. Even they had some guys that had some years that were kind of quiet. Capo Caco actually had a good series at 5-on-5, things like that. And this team was able to bounce back from deficits really quick. I mean, there was 2 times where the Caps were able to take an early lead in Games 2 and Game 3, and the Rangers were able to respond quickly and just pile on a lot of the goals. They played well. They were able to go on to the next round, and they were going to try to win that championship that has eluded them since 1994 as they try to, again, prove they can be one of hockey's best teams. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this series? Let me know down below in the comments. Please make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're new. Everybody stay safe. Have a great night. And you love hockey, alright. Goodbye, Brigadiers and Brigadettes. This is your captain signing off. Have a great night.